Hey guys, before we start talking today about the Ravens versus Titans game, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers by the middle of January, and I'm currently coming out with daily videos. So, if you're interested in more daily NFL content, hit that like and subscribe button. It allows me to keep making great content for you guys, and I'd really appreciate it too. And with that said, let's dive right into the video, and I hope you enjoy. So congrats to the Baltimore Ravens in this one. And they broke the whole Lamar Jackson can't win in the playoffs rhetoric. I mean, his decision making and escapability down the stretch what allowed for this Ravens team to win the game. I mean, their ability to run the football at the end of the game and get Lamar Jackson outside the pocket, get J.K. Dobbins going, and get that ground game going is what carried this Ravens team in this game. I mean, moving to the offseason, I mean, the Ravens are going to need wide receivers, but their just ability to run the football, especially with J.K. Dobbins and Lamar Jackson, is the reason they won the game, and the Titans' inability to stop them on the ground. Defensively, they did a fantastic job against Derrick Henry. I mean, Derrick Henry was held to under 40. He had 40 yards in the game, under 20 carries, under 50 yards, no rushing touchdowns for him. I mean, they were fantastic stopping Derrick Henry. It's that simple. They stopped Derrick Henry, they got the job done, and that's because of their great defensive effort. And they had the willingness to bring pressure and bring guys to stop the run. Brandon Williams and Calais Campbell did a fantastic job stopping the run on the ground. Those were the two defensive tackles, the defensive linemen that really were influential in stopping Derrick Henry. But I mean, there were other guys, Matt Judon coming off the edge, and other linebackers that were willing to get to the line of scrimmage. And really good idea and good scheme by Wink Martindale, the Ravens defensive coordinator, understanding that Derrick Henry was the key to this game. Stopping him allowed you to win this game, and because they were able to stop him, the Ravens were able to be successful in this game. And then, I also want to talk about the secondary. The Ravens secondary has been one of their strong suits all year, and it ended up winning them the game today. Marcus Peters with that last minute interception on Ryan Tannehill, and he's been a big interception guy throughout his entire career, but it was really good to see this Ravens team just come together, understand that they had to beat this Tennessee Titans team, and they did the job. They got the job done, and at the end of the day, if you look at a guy like Marlon Humphrey, who played obviously across from Marcus Peters, he got manhandled by A.J. Brown today. A.J. Brown had a fantastic game, but at the end of the day, this Ravens defense came together, and they understood they had to stop the run. They forced Ryan Tannehill to throw the football. And at the end of the day, it's not like Ryan Tannehill was terrible. He was still able to feed his guys, move the ball around, but it's just this Titans offense did not look good because the Ravens were able to bring pressure and stop the run. And moving forward, this is going to be a big game because now that teams know how to stop Derrick Henry. You got to bring pressure. You got to do what the Baltimore Ravens did in this game, and it comes down to Lamar Jackson, his decision making in this one. He was really smart with the football. In that first quarter, he had that interception, but after that, he was fantastic. He understood where the pressure was coming from. He understood when he needed to get outside the pocket, and he ended up having a massive touchdown. The guy had 16 carries for 136 yards and a touchdown, and he was the reason for this Ravens team to win the game. The only reason that they weren't good at the beginning of the game is they could not get the ground game going with Lamar Jackson, and therefore they had to throw the ball with Lamar Jackson, which was obviously in Tennessee's favor. And then for the Titans, Tannehill's composure under pressure was good the entire game. There was a lot of pressure on the quarterback from this Ravens team, but just at the end of the game, he just got a little bit pressured. The ball gets tipped to the line of scrimmage, and Marcus Peters comes up with an interception. That pretty much ends the game. And then A.J. Brown had a big game. I thought he played very well, but this offseason I would like to see them probably add a few more weapons on the outside for Tannehill. Obviously, they've got a good ground game. Obviously, they have a good O-line, but I think adding a few more weapons on that outside is going to really help Tannehill come back to the playoffs and hopefully have a better season next season. And then, we got to talk about Derrick Henry. They could not get room for Derrick Henry. This offensive line was not winning at the line of scrimmage, and that's the reason they weren't able to win today. It's not because they couldn't throw the ball downfield. It's not because their defense didn't play well. Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry could not get going. The ground game couldn't get going. And at the end of the day, they had to use Derrick Henry as a distraction most of the time. They went to the play action. That was something that they were very successful off of. But other than a guy like A.J. Brown, no one really stepped up behind him to lead the Titans. So that was kind of just, the offense just fell off after that. The offense could not get going. And although the Titans defense was pretty good, they held a very good Baltimore offense to only 20 points, which is very good to see from his Titans defense that struggled all year. And the thing that I really like to see from the Titans defense was that they were able to get pressure on to Lamar Jackson. And for most of the game, they were able to contain him. There were obviously a few plays where Lamar Jackson was able to get outside the pocket, but for a lot of the game, they were able to contain him. It was just those big chunk plays that allowed for Lamar Jackson to rack up over 130 rushing yards. But I mean, this offseason, they really need to add some edge rushers and add some guys that can get to the quarterback from the defensive line position, from the edge rusher, from the linebacker position, that can make guys make some big plays on the outside and really cause problems for other defenses, because this season, the Titans defense was one of the worst in the NFL, definitely bottom third of the league in that regard, especially statistically, and they're going to need playmakers on the defensive side of the football. Look for them to add a wide receiver, but overall, I mean, this Ravens team, congrats to them, fantastic win. You finally beat your playoff foes, the team that's beaten you in the past 2 games that you've seen them. And obviously there was a little bit of a rivalry there. Obviously there's a rivalry there. They've played each other multiple times in the playoffs before, not just last year, but the years before too. And then you saw at the end of the game when Marcus Peters had that interception. I mean, they were on the Titans logo. So I mean, this is a great win for this Ravens team, and it's going to give them a lot of momentum going into next week. Whoever they're going to play, they're going to need to keep up the defensive intensity, and they're going to need to keep up the run game efficiency, especially on the ground, to really be able to have a chance moving forward. And that's pretty much going to end the video for today. Did you agree with my analysis? Why or why not? What were your takeaways from today's game? And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please drop a like and a sub. I'd really appreciate that. It would help my channel grow. And until next time, see ya.